we will introduce a new function which will be called transform mesh. It will get a mesh as one parameter and a transformation matrix as the second parameter. For every vertex inside the mesh, we will perform the following operation. We will set the vertex of the mesh, the vertex with the index v, to the value taken from the getVert, the mesh v. That means we get the vertex with the index v, multiply by the transformation matrix, and then we save the result into the mesh. And then we return the resulting tri-mesh value back. Using this function, we can now transform the boxes, the side box and the front box, to actually move to the places where we want them, left, right, front and back of our final object. In order to do that, we will need a transformation matrix. This will be initially an identity matrix. That means no rotations, no scaling and no translation. And then we will set the row 4, which is the translation part, to minus the width divided by 2 plus the thickness divided by 2, 0 and 0, and use the call to transform mesh on the mesh of the side box, and we'll pass the transformation matrix as the second argument to the function. This will transform the side box once and move it to the one side, and then we can copy this line and say move it to the other side using the width minus the thickness divided by 2, and again transform the side mesh with this new transformation matrix. And we can do, of course, the same using the same transformation matrix and similar calls, but this time using the front box mesh, and the translation will be 0 minus length divided by 2 plus thickness divided by 2, and the same but with a plus sign for the length and a minus sign for the thickness. We pass the front box instead of the side box, and now if we would go and evaluate this script and take a look at our object, if we start modifying the object, we see that we have one error here. One object was translated too much. Let's see where the problem is. We have the width minus the thickness with 2, minus length plus thickness, and plus length minus thickness. So if we would evaluate again, then we will see that the box is now complete minus the lid. So if we show the hidden edges, you can see that we have the bottom fitting exactly between the other boxes, and we left, thanks to the multiplication by 2.01, we're leaving small gaps between the boxes because they're going to be unioned, and we don't really want the meshes to be booleaned together. Like in the real world, a real box would have slight gaps between the components that we used to build it. At this point, we can save our script, this time as step 2. And in the next step, we will take a look at how the lid can be added and how it could open and close. That means we will apply a rotation to another box as part of the same mesh. One last thing that we will have to do to our box is allow the height to be set by the mouse. Instead of stopping at the second click, we're going to change our mouse point click to stop at the third click in the viewport, and we'll add another line whenever we have clicked twice already. We'll set the height to be the absolute value of the grid distance times dot z without the times 2, because we're not going to measure from the center to left and right. In this case, since the box has its pivot point at the bottom, we're going to assign the complete grid distance z value to the height. We can resave the script and re-evaluate. And let's create another lid box on the side of the first one. While we're dragging the first time, I'm still holding the mouse button for the first release. And when I release it and shift the mouse up, I get my box growing up. So now I can quickly create boxes, and the only thing that cannot be currently set interactively is the thickness. You can go later, select the object, and then change its thickness. All these parameters are of course animatable, because the parameter block deals with management of controllers and keyframes. So for example, if I change the thickness over time, you're going to see the keyframe brackets around the spinner, and everything is handled by the parameter block automatically.